Usually here Tuesday the 5th. Trying to work in the man cave with the Nature Hike one-man tent. First of all, the tarp that's on the ground, on the floor, is too big. It's 8 by 10. I normally put that down no matter what tent I'm using because sometimes I come out of the tent without my boots on. And I want to just step on the tarp, not on the ground. And for me, over a period of time, that size tarp has worked out. Sometime to the dismay of my fellow hikers. I have a footprint that goes with the Nature Hike tent, which attaches right to the tent, which is fine. It's okay. Weight-wise for carrying is perfect. Each their own with that. I'm not a fan of that tent, mainly because to me it's just a bivy sack. Crawl in there, and that's it. If that's the only room that's in there, I'll try to get in there later. No guarantee, but I'll try to get in there later. I got to blow up the pad. Blow up the pad, take the sling bag with me, and see if I can get in there and give you a video. And open the blind and all that kind of stuff. I don't like it because there's no room. I don't like it because you can't move around. You crawl in there. How you crawl in there is how you're coming out of there. So if you crawl in head first, okay, you're not coming out head first. You're going to have to come out feet first. If you go in feet first, you got to come out head first. That's the problem with something like that. And in an emergency situation, that could be an issue. That actually could be a life-threatening issue, especially if there's a predator around. But that's another story for another day. I've had the tent out in Washington. I've had the tent out in the rain, in the dark, in the wind, in a combination of all three, a combination of two, of the three. All I could say is you have to practice on how to pitch that tent and any other tent. Because if you don't know how to pitch the tent, when it comes to an abnormal situation like rain, wind, and it's dark, you're going to have a problem. You're going to suffer like I did. And I suffered, believe me, I suffered. I didn't practice with that tent. I took that tent out, and the first night in that tent, the tent was wrapped around me with an emergency blanket. That was my sleeping system. It's a no-go. You don't wrap a tent around you with an emergency blanket and that's your shelter. It was terrible. But that's what I had to do because I got so frustrated because I was late getting to the campsite. Okay? I didn't go from A to B. I went from A to B, but see, along the way, I was taking photographs, I was looking at this, I took a longer than 5-minute break, I took a longer than 15-minute lunch, and by the time I got to B, it's dark. And solo camping, no-go. It's a no-go, okay? I'm telling you it's a no-go. I'm fortunate to be here to tell you. Anyhow, I'm not a fan of those type of tents. I'm looking for a 2-man tent, 3-seasonal 2-man tent with room. And not room with vestibules. I don't care about vestibules because I have an issue with, I highly suspect that people come and take people's shoes. And that's why I carry a pair of Crocs with me, in case somebody takes my shoes. So I can get, hopefully, out. You laugh. It never happened to you. But I know people it has happened to. I know people that have gone out hiking on various trails, well-known trails, I won't say where, but they've been out there, and people are taking their shoes. People are taking their gear. If you're a heavy sleeper, they're going to take your stuff if they're watching you. And they watch you. People watch you in the woods. There are people in the woods. You got to be aware of what's going on. That's why I started to carry 2 cameras. And I got that tip from the guy who, I don't know, I'm trying to remember his name. He would follow, believed in dogmen and Bigfoot, and he would put a camera on his back because when you watched his videos, sure, he's got a GoPro here. You have a camera, I have a camera, you run the tape, you see what you saw. But if you run the camera that was on your back because you're not got eyes behind your head, you'd be amazed what goes across the trail after you pass. You'd be amazed. So you have to be aware of what's going on in the woods. And if it doesn't feel right, you exit. See, I don't get it when I'm watching these videos and these people talking about, and they have it on the video. They're actually doing the video, and it's not feeling right to them. You got to leave. It's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. Okay? You got to exit the area. So you just got there. If you're really scared, just leave everything there. Take anything that has your name on it, leave it there. I've done it. I've done it twice. I don't care. I can replace a tent. I can replace a stove. I can replace a sleeping bag. I can't replace my life. 2 times I felt that way. I share the stories with you. Maybe I didn't. One of the stories I did. I know that. I'm out of there. I'm not fooling around. I was hiking with a buddy, and he didn't want to leave. I said, well, explain to me what's going on then. Explain to me what's going on. We know where we are. We know what predators in the area. We know what's in the woods. We know what's in the woods per se anyhow. We know what's close with people and all the. So tell me what's going on. He can't explain to me. I said, well, you can't explain to me either. I'm out of here. I don't feel, it doesn't feel right to me. You want to stay here, that's your business. No, I'm going with you. Well, we got to break camp. I'm not breaking camp. I'm taking the backpack and I'm gone. What about all this stuff? Leave it here. Replace it. Fuck it. It's not worth it. See, people see you. People see you lug all the stuff, right? They're gonna be thinking that you're not breaking camp like I broke camp. You're not gonna walk away because you got all the stuff. You're gonna be breaking camp, repack it all up and leave. No, it's gonna take me an hour at least. Not doing that. I have a intimate danger here. I'm feeling the danger. I'm gone. I'm a city boy. I'm gone, man. Get that? I learned that a long time ago. You're out of there. That's why I carry pepper spray. I use it. I've used it 3, 4, 5 times. You're getting it. You're getting it, and I'm leaving. You're not getting it. I mean, if it's life or death with me, then that's going to mobilize you and hopefully gives me an edge. But if it's not life or death, if I don't feel it's life or death, I'm out of there. I'm going to mobilize you. You're not going to catch up with me. I'm gone. Gone. Nope. Anyhow, that's a nature hike tent. Got to pitch it. You got to pitch, and you got to. Here's what I did. I put it up in my, because I didn't do this. I didn't practice with the tent. I didn't know how to put the tent up. I didn't know how to pitch it correctly. I didn't know how to use the guidelines. I didn't know I needed more stakes. I didn't know any of that. And I suffered for it when I went out to use it in the inclement weather of Washington State. I suffered for it. And I'm here mainly because of common sense. That's the only reason I'm here, okay? Sure, I wrapped myself up in a tent. I did. That tent. I wrapped myself up in that tent, put the rain fly, had on my clothes, put on my warm clothes, cut down the branches off the evergreen tree, made a nest, covered it with a tarp, covered myself up with the tent, and went to sleep. That's what I did. Common sense. All I wanted to see was the sunrise. See the sunrise, I could walk out. I got up, the sun was up, I left everything there except I took my backpack and my essential gear. I left everything else there and I walked out. Never went back. Replaced all the gear I had. No big deal. Oh, I wouldn't do that. Okay, don't do that. That's up to you. But here's all I know. I put myself in a situation because I did not know how to use the equipment. Then what did I do? I put the tent up in my house without the stakes. I kept putting the tent up in my house. My kids were like, "What are you doing?" And my wife would say, "Daddy's teaching himself how to put the tent up." Because Daddy had a bad experience, and she's explaining it to them. And they're like, I'm putting the tent up. Every couple of days, I put the tent up in my house, okay? In the living room. The dogs are looking at me. Everybody's, whatever. That tent I could put up in 5 minutes. I put it up in 5 minutes today. Without the stakes. The stakes may take you 15 minutes, depending on what's going on with the ground, okay? And how much you want to pitch it. How many of the guidelines you want to use. Me, I want to use all the guidelines. I put extra guidelines on there. I want to stake it out completely and then forget about it. So we did the house training. Then we did the backyard training. Put the tent up and then we start staking it. Practicing how to stake this tent in the wind, in the rain, in the dark. Practicing. Put the stakes in the ground. I get the stakes out of the ground. Then we get to the point where we're going to practice the whole thing at one time. Why? Because I went out with the tent in the rain and got soaked. And why did I get soaked? The first thing you have to put up is the tent. Put the ground top down, you put the tent down, but the tent is fully meshed, right? It's fully meshed. It comes with a rain fly. But you can't put the rain fly on a tent until you put the tent up because it's that type of tent. Now, somebody said to me, well, you could put the rain fly over the tent, put it in your backpack. When you take it out, the rain fly will be attached to the tent because it clips on. And then all you have to do is you can put the whole thing up at one time. Well, yes and no. I struggle with that. I'd rather just huff it. Put the tent up. It's less than 5 minutes. And then get that rain fly on there. All you have to do with the rain fly is clip it in the front and the back. And then you got to stake it. And you got it. Is the inside of the tent going to get wet? Yes. If it's raining hard, it's going to get wet. I'm not a guru. I'm far from perfect with these tents now. But if you watch my videos, you'll see me wet. Not like the videos I watch, and I complain about it all the time. That guys and girls never wet. All right, so that's it for the tent. Practice in your house, practice in your yard, practice out in a state park, practice with a bunch of people. You got to practice. If you don't practice, it's not going to work. It's like starting a fire, throwing sparks. If you never threw sparks before, you might be able to do it on your first try. I've seen people do it on the first try. Not me. And I'm rusty right now. So you got to practice. Practice makes perfect. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but I am sharing with you what's happened to me. I have no problem doing that if it helps you or somebody you know. All right, that's it. I've been gabbing here 15 minutes, but that's house camping. And we'll give you a video if we get into tent today. Talk to you later.